Hi everyone, how you doing? It's time for a video review. So I'm going to be reviewing the horror anthology found footage film VHS. Yeah, I got our red box. Sorry, what movie? We don't have any blockbusters here as they all closed down. Unfortunately, I really liked Blockbuster 2. Anyway, what VHS is, like I said, is a horror film anthology movie. The main story of it is about a group of, jerks, douchebags, they cause trouble and they record it, and then they get hired to find a tape in some random house. And while they do that, they find this corpse of obviously dead man, but a corpse of an old man just sitting in a chair, and then they find a bunch of VHS tapes. They're supposed to figure out which VHS tape is the one that they are supposed to bring to whoever this person is. And through that, you get your overarching story into how, all this chaos begins to happen. Now, I heard a lot of, online anyway, a lot of good reviews, video reviews. Everyone, a lot of people were liking it. The only, I think, real negative review I could see of it was the cinema style Brad Jones. I mean, he wasn't in character at the time, it was just him. And he said that it was just okay. And I just kind of thought, it's probably not his style. And he probably just thinks there's no abundance of movies. And I was just like, I'm probably going to really enjoy this because, everyone was liking it. And I was like, this is my type of movie. I'm going to love the ever-loving heck out of this thing. And then I watched it, and then I see what he meant by just that it's just kind of okay. Just some of the stories, most of the stories anyway, are just kind of more weird than scary. Like the first one, we run down the plot to some of these. The first one's plot is about a bunch of college students, two jocks, one nerd. The nerd has glasses with a little camera on it, and they want to record pretty much a porno video. But what happens is they pick up this one girl who's really weird. She has eyes that the size of golf balls, which I was like, that's actually creepy. And the girl, she was the best actor in that segment. And she creeped me out, and the twist is there's gonna be massive, I'm gonna review all these movies, and I'm gonna tell you all the entire plot outline, and the twist ending is she's a vampire or whatever, or some sort of demon. At the start I thought, I was oh, this is actually cool, because it's creepy, and there's pretty good, the gore effects in it was actually pretty good. But then it really jumps the shark at a certain point when she at the very end she grabs the nerd kid and she starts flying away with him, and I was I know it's not supposed to be taking place in reality, but I think at that moment it really jumped the shark. It would have been better if she just kind of jumped on him and killed him instead of just flying away. I guess they had the effect, might as well have used it. The second story was actually an improvement from the first one, in my opinion anyway. The second one was directed by Ty West, which I think this one shows that Ty West is actually a very, good horror director. I really like Cabin Fever 2 way more than 1. House of the Devil was also pretty good. I think was that him? I'm pretty sure that was him. And this one was one of the two that I really liked, because it really relied more on eeriness. It's more stale than the other ones, but it just works. It's about a couple that go on their second honeymoon, and then this person breaks into their house. I mean, not a house, a hotel room, and she's stealing stuff, and at the end she kills the husband, and then the twist is that you see that the wife of the husband is making out with a girl, and apparently there's like a fortune involved. Like it was good. It was better than most of them. Just because of like the one segment where it's actually kind of creepy, but then it's just like it's kind of over. I didn't really yeah, and then like it kind of just ends. It's I think it's the shortest one. At least it felt short. So it was really weird. It felt really short, but not in a necessarily good way. Kind of like it's just like, oh, okay, now it's over. But it's still not that bad. It's one, like I said, it's one of the better ones in my opinion, anyway. The third one, this one's called Thursday. They have all names. Third one's called Thursday the 17th, which I think is an actual movie. I think it's actually called Thursday the 12th though, or Thursday the something. But whatever. This one's about a couple of college students. They go out to this one's also really weird. They go out to a lake somewhere, and there were murders that happened up there, and then like randomly you'll see the camera like glitch out and it'll show like something being dead, just kind of lying, like at one point you see someone lying in the lake and like the spine is showing, but like it's only for like a fraction of a second and then it's gone. Like you just don't see it. And then you figure out that like there's actually a killer out there, and then the one girl who brought him up there used him as bait to try and catch the killer, but for whatever bizarre reason you can't see the killer because he's like, I don't know, he's like has supernatural powers, and the only way you can see him is through recording. So if you still see someone behind me and then this video makes it up on the internet and I'm no longer seen anymore, you'll know why. I mean, it had really good gore effects, but that didn't do it for me. I just didn't care. It was just, the problem with this is that like most of these stories, you watch them, and you just don't care. This is one of them. Like it was like, all right, that's over. That was okay, I guess. The gore effects were really good, and like at the end, she thinks she kills the guy, but she doesn't, and then the guy winds up killing her, and like he has supernatural powers, you can only see him, and like you never see his face and all that stuff. It's like, all right, that wasn't bad, I guess, but anyways, let's move on. That's what I said during the movie. And then the next story is that terrible thing that happened to Emily when she was younger. I think that's what it's called. I can remember all the names of the short films except for the very first one. The second one's called Second Honeymoon, by the way, if you care. This one, actually, I think about it, I think it's actually better than the Ty West one, so maybe the Ty, like, yeah, this one, I'm not thinking about, this one was actually pretty good. This one is about this girl who's lives in an apartment by herself, and she believes that she's being haunted. And she is. I mean, you see it. It's not a spoiler or anything. Even though I'm telling you, I told you straight up before this video started that there's gonna be spoilers. And it's kind of like it actually has a good sense of creepiness. Like it's all shot through webcam. Definitely an iffy way kind of doing it, but you know it's short. It's like a half hour long. That really matters. And then, like, it's like she is being haunted, but she has, like, this like, you'd think maybe it's mental. Like, at this one scene, she's, like, screwing around with her arm. Like, she has, like, a big gaping hole in her arm, like, around there. And you see her, like, digging into it with, like, this. And then, like, it's like, oh, that's actually a good effect. And then you see there's, like, these little children that are screwing with her. And I was like, oh, that's really creepy. Like, actually. The start, it's like she's like in a room by herself. He's doing she's talking to her boyfriend, and then you just see a little figure in the just like I said there. And he's just like comes in, slams the door shut. This one the more I think about, the more I'm actually enjoying it. I get, yeah, that actually does make it better than yeah, this one's better than now then think about it. And like you realize something like that, and I realize like the more you think about it, the more you like it. That's how you know that's how you know something's good. And then at the very end, they like it's like the twist is like her boyfriend's actually a part of this. It's like, oh wow, I wasn't expecting that. Well, kind of was. And then I just farted. Anyways, what happens then is like you see him come in, and like she's knocked out. She's on the floor. He lifts up the back of her shirt, cuts a little slice in her back. You see her rib, like you see like the back of her ribs, and that's like it's weird. And then like he digs in, pulls out a little embryo. I was like, dude, what? Like what? It was straight up messed up. And then you like see her like all beat up and stuff. I think her thing like it was like all an accident and stuff and everything like that. And then it cuts to like he's with another girl. So it's just like, is he gonna do the same thing to her? Probably. Then the very last story is, oh yeah, while this is happening, the main story is going on, and at this point, like the main story is totally useless. This movie could have been better, like maybe not better, but it wouldn't have mattered if the main story wasn't in it, because it's just the wraparound. It doesn't matter. It's like it's a bookend. It doesn't matter. It's hard for me to explain it. Like what happens, like go into the house, guy's dead. Some weird stuff happens in that house, and then at this point in the movie, the guy goes upstairs. The old man's not in that chair anymore. And then the guy's like, dude, what the hell's going on? He's looking around with this camera like this, They're like, dude, where are you guys? And then, next thing you know, he sees a body, decapitated. Then his friend's, I guess their friend's head was like rolled right down the front of him. Then you see the old guy, his mouth's all like screwed up and all that. The guy starts running down the stairs. The guy falls down the stairs. Last thing you see, old man's face. Then it's done. Like, the wraparound stories, like this really messed up how wraparound stories are supposed to go. Wraparound stories are segments that are in between all of them, and including the end of the movie. But in this one, it's not at the end of the movie. It's not after the last segment. It doesn't end after the last segment. It ends before the last segment. Then at the very end, the last one. This is actually the best one. This one I actually enjoyed a lot because it's actually it's pretty creepy. It's about these young guys, maybe young adults. I really can't tell what age group they're a part of. I think maybe college students probably. And they're going out to a Halloween party. And the thing about this one, what I liked, is that these guys weren't bad guys. They're kind of just like, typical college kids, which in most movies, they were being portrayed as like, jerks. But they're not bad people. They're just people who are just kind of, they're just there to have fun, They're not causing any harm to anybody. They go into this house, right? And it's like supposed to be a haunted attraction. They get there, and no one's at the house. No one at all. So they kind of look around, and then you start seeing really weird stuff. Like the one scene, it's like, let's say I had you look at that, and then you just see a face just show up right there, and like it's quick too, and it's like it was stuff like that always creeps me out. You see, what I like about this one is like it kind of jumps a shark at the end, but it's all right. But it's so enjoyable. I didn't care, and like the house is obviously haunted. I mean, but what would be the point if it wasn't haunted? And then they continue searching around the house, and then like he goes in this one room, and he looks in the mirror. And in the mirror shows a chair, and someone's sitting in the chair. He looks at the chair, no one's there. I mean, obviously that's just how the stuff like that works. And he looks over at the mirror again, no one's there. And then they start hearing like something going on in the attic. So they go up in the attic, and there's this weird ritual. They just think it's a part of the party. They don't really know. And then so they start causing a ruckus, and the girl's screaming, "Get me out of here! Get me out of here!" And then the people start yelling at them. And you see people just start getting pulled away. So like maybe this isn't a party, and so then they decide to leave. But then they're just like, we can't leave her. We gotta go get her. So they go back up, and they say for like the one guy gets pulled up, and then I forget what happens to the other guy that was up there. Sorry, I just got off watching this movie. I probably should remember more. Like literally when I'm recording this, not even 2 minutes after the movie ended. Well, actually, probably because I watched the bonus features. But what happened was they looked like they went like, and then you start seeing hands just come out of the ground, and it's like it's actually pretty cool. Like it seems like a cheap CG effect, but it works really well. And then there's like fog following them, and then they're trying to get out of the house, but all like the doors are sealing up. The one part I just kind of thought is like, and anything like this, like you can see the windows are fine. So I'd be all like, if I'm in that situation, you see that window, I'm out. Even though probably have to twist it to be like the window twist for brick or whatever, because that's just my luck. Anyways, so they get her out, and they start driving her home, and then like the car stops on a train track, and then the girl vanishes out of the car, and then she's just like right next to the car, and then they're getting out, and then a train starts coming, and then she's in front of the car, and the train hits the car. Anyway, it's implied anyway. If you watch the bonus features, there's an extended ending. They live, but in the movie's chronological and the movie's narrative, they die, but I know they live. It would have been better if they kept the full ending in. I mean, it would have taken away from anything. I guess it would have taken away from the fear, but it would be more just it would be more or less just the fact that they had more like a fun moment, a fun segment instead of just being straight up fear. Because that's what I like about this one. It's way more fun and creepy. It was fun, also creepy, and it was fun with creepy, and I think that's what most of these segments are missing. The timeless one had creepy. The first one kind of just straight up weird. The third one tried to be fun, but tried to be straight up splatter fun, but it was kind of just dumb in the end. The fourth one was just straight up creepy, and then the last one was creepy but fun, but the wraparound story was complete. It just didn't matter. I didn't care about it. And you just get to look at all these characters that you just don't like at all, and like you can't wait to see them die, and then when they do, it's like, oh, thank you. And that's not scary, that's just movies. Anyways, if I had to give this rating, I guess I'd have to rate them all separately. Overall, though, VHS gets a 3 out of 5. I wish I could give it 5. I wanted to give it 5. Don't get me wrong. I went to this whole wanting to love it. But in the end, too many of the stories just didn't matter. The wraparound story, like I said, wasn't trash, but it was. I guess it was trash. I really didn't care. There wasn't really anything creepy in it. Just kind of, it was just there, just for the sake of being there. The first one was just like, what the heck is going on? Jumps the shark way too much. Excuse me. Second one had good elements of creepiness, but then the first one I give 2 out of 5. 2 because it has good special effects. Second one though, I have to give it a 3 because it kind of just ends, and that's just the way it is. Like, it's one of those where it's just like it could have been something better, but just kind of ends. And I think if they expanded upon it a bit more, it could have been a much better movie. But the gore effect in it was really good, so I think I give it a 3. Third one, I guess I gotta give it a 2. Because it's just the gore effects are alright. You know what? I have to change this to 1.5 out of 5 because I just don't care. The gore effects are there; those are nice, I guess. The fourth one, I give a 4 out of 5. Ironically, fifth one, 5 out of 5. That one was just a lot of fun. I mean, I guess it doesn't necessarily average out to. I mean, in the first part, I'm not sure if that averages out to 3 out of 5. Maybe it's like 3.5. But as of now, I'll stand for 3 out of 5 for the overall experience of VHS. The bonus features, though, there are a lot of them. I'll give it that. You get more about the directors and stuff like that, along with the extended ending of the last story, which I think the last story was called 10/31/98, which is the date, October 31st, 1998, which is when that segment is supposed to take place. So yeah, I think that if they want to do a VHS 2, which is fine, I can see them making a sequel to this. Hopefully, giving it a bit more better, giving the stories a better flow to them. or if they want, like, what I could see them doing is like taking the fourth and fifth segments and making them, having them be actual films, because that would I'd actually like to see. Anyone watch any directors out there that worked on those? Listen to me. You can go crazy with that, especially with the fifth one, or maybe even the fourth one. I could see, yeah. But anyways, for anthology films coming out, I kind of have a problem with this one because anthology films are supposed to be love letters to like what it's talking about. Creep Show is a love letter to whole, those comics, to horror comics from back in the day, like Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, stuff like that. And Cabin in the Woods, not a horror anthology at all, but like that was a love letter to slasher movies because the slasher film kind of died off. Like, I mean, there's been remakes of them, and every once in a while the one comes out, but it's kind of just like they're kind of just there, and that one's kind of a love-hate letter to them, which works. But the found footage genre is now just in its most popular moment, is now very popular. So the fact that it is now getting an anthology movie, it's kind of silly. I mean, I guess this is kind of technically a step in the right direction with it, because what else are they going to do with them? But if you're looking forward to, I'd say just if you're waiting for any anthology movie, just wait for the ABCs of Death. That actually looks really cool. Just wait for that if you want. But if you guys see it, it's in Redbox. Just give it a rent, or if you have Netflix, get it off of Netflix. I'll probably show this to Donnie, who you've seen in a couple videos. He might like it more than I did, maybe not. I think he actually disliked it. But anyways, that's my review for VHS. Check it out if you can get it, if you can watch it cheaply. But if you have no interest, don't bother. It really doesn't matter. Anyways, that's my review. Take care.